Hi. So we were asked to share some of the things that we're working on, and I wanted to do a video because what I've been working on is kind of complex, and some of my previous videos never happened as I was doing the process, so I wanted to explain. This is a cactus journal that I've been working on for my daughter for what feels like forever. I got the idea when I saw this absolutely stunning cactus ribbon. She's into cactuses. She and my grandson have this game they play with hiding cactuses around the house and different ones. And I thought that that would be kind of fun to make a cactus journal for her. And then later the same day, we did mashed potatoes with our dinner, and it had packaging that had this rounded top cardboard. And when I started to take it apart to throw into recycling, I went, oh, wait a minute, that's kind of a neat shape for a round, short, round cactus. So I decided to use that as my cover. And I actually went and cut out another piece of the cover so that way I could have a double layer cover for extra reinforcement and to put a ribbon to tie it. I'm going to explain that. But what I did was I took the mashed potato cardboard and I covered it with white gesso to hide the labeling. And then I took crepe papers, you know, those tissues and stuff that you have that you put in with gifts, and I had been saving them throughout my grandson's birthdays. And I grabbed a bunch of colors that would fit with the cactus theme, and I took some like wrist raffia, and I glued that down, and I used Mod Podge to create my crazy outside for the cactus. And I thought that this would do the veining nicely, and it did. It showed through, but that was okay. And then I took the second half, did the same thing with that, um, without the veining, so I could have an inside cover, again, for the reinforcement. And because the ribbon was a inspiration for this, I wanted to be sure to incorporate it, but I wanted to be sure that the ribbon would be protected and safe. So I created this double cover. So I have a section here that protects my signatures, and I'm going to be attaching it in a way that she can actually remove it to work on it and then put it back in later. And then this way I can have the ribbon going through, have it inside, and she'll be able to go ahead and tie it, and it's protected. And I'll be adding some flowers across the top to make it a flowering cactus like some of the cactuses here. And she'll be able to open it up. And when I did my stitching, I used a 5-hole pamphlet stitch to attach my signatures to the cardstock that I have covered with some of my ink dye papers. And I am going to be using that same ribbon, and I used a light carpet tape, which has this really nice reinforcement on the inside of the strings, but I used a lightweight one that I got at Walmart, and I'm going to use that to line it, and I'm actually going to try to create pockets on the back and inside cover when I do this, so she'll have someplace extra to hide little goodies. And because I will be tying the signature in, I did, there's only 3 signatures, but I did I did a whole centimeter between each one. So that way I can do like I did with my other journals and have something that's running through the the insides of those little trenches created from the 1 centimeter gap, and then I can tie it, and then again she can untie it and use it. But if she doesn't want this ribbon, or if it starts to get tattered, she could always replace it. It just gives her options to make it her own. Okay, so I wanted to show the inside portion here. Um, what I did for the signature area for the inner part of the book is I took a bunch of the distress inks and oxide inks, which I'm just planning to use some more, but I've been experimenting. And I took just plain regular copy paper and I sprayed them with an assortment of different things. I also tried to do some chalk marbling, which didn't give me the effect that I really wanted. So some of the ink dyeing is over some of my attempts at doing the chalk marbling as well. So it gave me a nice variety of colors that fit that ribbon theme. And I created the three. And as I did that, I used some of it to line the back side of my inside cover. And I made most of my pages are made from that. And then to add some variety and stuff, I added sashing around my three signatures. And all of the sashing is uh, ink dye. Sorry, not an ink dye. One of the dyes that you can cut things out with. And I took a bunch of lightweight cardstock and I cut a whole bunch of them out in the different colors. And then I varied them when I put them in there. So I have sashing that really strengthens the signatures themselves because it does add a lot of stiffness. But I also later took it and I used it on scrap paper to create the top part and then flip it over, do the other part to fit. And then because the die was wider than the actual pages, I was able to shift them back and forth to get some variety on my little landscape sections. And they're actually functional pockets. I have these super cactus stickers that I got with the intention of using them, and they fit it's just so perfectly in there. And the little cactuses were actually part of the dies. And I have some circles, so I could add some moons or something to the top. But each one of these, because this is something that she's doing and has been doing with my grandson, who just turned 16, so they've been doing this for years. I thought this would be a fun way to kind of document their adventures and all the different cactuses they've had and have hidden and played games. And I know she's done some videos and photographs, and they have them all saved like little trophies. So I wanted her to have some stuff to play with and extras. And see, they just fit in perfectly. Like I said, the colors were just ideal. And the because I used the scrap paper, it's folded on the bottom, but the pocket layered, so I don't have to worry about anything falling out on her. And these are tight enough that you can slide stuff in, but not worry about anything falling out when you pick up the book, because there is actually a bottom to every pocket. It's not just layered there. So I thought that was kind of cute. And then as I go through, so here are some of the ink dyed papers. I have a couple that I try to use some of the punches, but again, it was copy paper. And some of the stuff that I did trying to do the chalk marbling didn't come out all that great, but I wanted to play around with some stuff. So I took some spare ribbons, and I have some very pretty cactus stamps that I played with. And I've been doing stamping, but I haven't done it on some of these things you've done stuff to the paper and it has a texture or a new texture actually. And so I used some chalk inks and I tried some of the dye inks, and so a lot of this is experiments. I can't even tell you which one I ended up with because some things didn't work and some didn't. But I used some notebook papers as well, so she'd have some areas for journaling. I had some papers from a book that had a whole bunch of different ones that you could just take out to use for doing scrapbooking, and I incorporated some stuff. I tried to make some spots for journaling. I'm still adding goodies in here. This is stuff that I cut out of a coloring book that I got at one of the yard sales. We go yard selling every year. We do the neighborhood yard sales. And I saved like all the different pieces and stuff and added those in, and just trying to create some different flips and fun things. Sticking with the same color zone. I've got a little bit of tracing paper, and I use this with an embossing folder just to kind of add something kind of fun in there, something a little different, again, for texture. Here's another one of the sheets. This one had cactuses that you could color, and the other side is very plain. But it had nice things, and when I cut them out, because I had to create a template for my pages, I ended up with a lot of scrap paper. So sometimes I created Franken papers, and then for things like this, when I cut it off and I had pattern, I didn't want to waste those cactuses, so I fussy cut them out. used some tracing paper, created a little envelope. So she's got a bunch of little fussy cut things that she can take out. She can glue onto a page. And again, with the envelope, I've got little goodies so that way I can go ahead and add things on. I actually went and did some metal tape bookmarks. This is actually a reversible bookmark. And then these are actually paper clips that she can use. So like if she wants to go ahead and attach it and keep it on there, she can add it on. If I can do that with the camera here. There we go. Oh, I'm squishing things. There we go. But so then she'll have little bookmarks and stuff that she can flip through. And I may go ahead and add some additional paper clips so that way she can choose the direction. So if she wants to use it as a marker or something, or differently to attach because of the rounded edge, I wanted her to have options. But some more of the pages. I just want to show, I was so pleased with how some of the colors and stuff came out. And then here's some more of the tracing paper, more attempts of that same page I did with the chalk marbling that, like I said, I didn't get the color I really wanted. Some more. And then here's a paper that I did. I've been doing a graphic design group with Paulette. Some more of that paper. And so I created a page with a cactus, and I actually made a little pocket because I printed it out in cardstock and regular paper. And I've got like scraps of leftovers, and I tried to use some things, like I went and created a coin envelope and used some washi tape to seal it. So I thought that would be kind of fun. But I have lots of little things that match that can be tucked in. And I'm not worried about little pieces extending over the edge because there's going to be extra room to play because of that, because of the second cover. It's going to work out just fine. But I've got a bunch of like journaling things that I did so she could have things to tuck in and play with. And I've got little freebies and that came with other things, and I have other extras that she can add in. I saved stuff that I found, like the Daphne's Diary had these 3D, it was a page full of information with 3D cactuses that you could make, and you could cut them out. And my gosh, they were just so beautiful with the colors and everything they had, and they're double-sided. So I'm including them for her. So if she wants to, she could do a pocket in here if she wanted to and have a tuck. They look fantastic on any of the pages all by themselves. And there is a variety of different colors and sizes, so she could work them in any place that she wants to. So I just thought it would be neat. I'm going to make some backing papers, so if she wants to have them outlined, I can do that and it will blend in. I'm the one who does the scrapbooking stuff. We do a lot of stuff together with mine. This has been a little different for me, and it's definitely different for her, so I wanted to give her plenty of supplies. And then, because again, looking at the ribbon, they had flowers across the top of the cactuses, and she's had a lot of cactuses that do flower. So what I wanted to do was incorporate that in there too. So I found this really nifty stamp set, and I wanted to create flowers that go across the top of it, but I want to scatter the buds all the way through. So as she's opening it, by the time she gets to the center, I want to have this wonderful cascade of flowers going all the way across the top. So what I did is I stamped a bunch of the double ones, and I took 2 pieces of cardstock, and I used, again, more of the tissue paper left over from birthdays and Christmas gifts and stuff from with my grandson. And I used the Mod Podge and did it on the back. And then on the other side, I went and did stamping of the flowers and petals. Show you some of those as well. And I used chalk inks to do all the coloring. And I'm taking the scraps left over that I had from cutting up my pages, because there were lots of little pieces. And I thought, well, those would be kind of fun to kind of fold up into the little leaves that you see when you see the flowers sticking at the top of them. And what I'm planning to do is put in a couple of flowers. I'm going to just tuck that one in here. I'm just going to see. So there'll be something tucked in on the front and on the back, and then there'll be other ones. And then because I have some of this in there, there'll be some nice colors. So as she's flipping through and the colors are changing, we'll get a nice variety. And I just thought it would be neat. And the leaves will give me a little extra space to be sure things are sticking up out of the edge of the journal. And I have washi tape that I'm going to use. So as I'm laying them out, I can kind of test where I want them located at. I figure I'm probably going to have to start in the middle. If somebody has a suggestion of a better way to do that, and go ahead and like add them in and then sprinkle them in through the pages. So that way, again, as she's turning it, they're changing and she's always getting to see flowers across the top. Again, that's when I talked about putting that ribbon, I don't want to sew the ribbon in because I'm a little worried about where some of those flowers will be, or if it'll be a problem with those. But her and I can always change the clasp if she doesn't want to use the ribbon. But I don't know. I feel like I covered everything I wanted to share. It's a little confusing because I'm not quite done yet. I am trying to get it done for her for Christmas. Like I said, I've been working on it for quite some time. But I wanted to share where I am and what I'm doing. And I don't know. I hope I've inspired somebody to try something a little wild. But that's it. Thanks for watching.